Do you ever wish the secret came to you sooner in your life?
I think the timing of the universe is perfect on everything. I don't know that I would have heard it. I don't know. Like, I needed every single thing that took place in my life to happen. And I had a couple of really rough years before 2004. And then 2004 was a doozy. That's why it knocked me to the ground. And I've looked back on all of those things, and I'm so grateful for every one of them, because I needed every one of those things to go wrong to get me to the place that I got to. And
Wow.
and I'm just so grateful. I could have lived my whole life without, finding anything. And I just think I'm so blessed.
Can you share what is the law of attraction? And is it possible that anyone can truly achieve what they want if they use it effectively?
So one of the ways that I talk about the law of attraction, or the secret, is sort of in a different way from the way I used to speak about it, because I'm always looking at how can I make it even simpler. And I mean, basically that work talks about the power of the mind and the power of thought to create our physical world and material world. And then the greatest secret takes that to a whole new level, actually. And so then you really get to see that, oh my gosh, it's super easy to create anything I want. Like, really so easy. Because if we have a belief it's hard, then it's going to be hard, And so it has everything to do with our mind and what we believe. And so if we believe a thought, it will manifest. End of story.
So if we believe we are deserving of great love, then we will manifest it. If we believe we are going to be poor, we're going to stay poor. If we believe we don't deserve something, then it's not going to come to us. Was there any other tests or games that you tried to, change your thoughts and play with your mind to start seeing yourself as abundant and in prosperity?
Yeah, I did lists of all of the things that I was going to get, all the things I was going to buy, when the money came in. So I did all of these lists, and I imagined that I had those things already. And I remember it was like, I want a house on the ocean. I really went all out, that was just some list. One of the things I remember is that I'd always wanted a Range Rover all of my life, and that was just beyond anything I could afford. And especially in Australia, they were crazy prices. But still, I put it on the list, and I put all these things on the list. But, interestingly enough, I did that because that was a way to turn money around. But when The Secret got released, I didn't care about any of it and I didn't even care. All that mattered was that I had got it out into the world, and now it was in the world. It could never be taken away. And that is what mattered to me more than anything, is that was going to get into people's hands.
You talk about everlasting happiness in the book. How do we, it seems like you found a pretty blissful place, but that might be, a lot of people watching or listening might say, well, it must be easy for Rhonda. She's, a mega millionaire. She doesn't have to worry about money. She's got all this, everything going for her. But as the world has shown, there's been many suicides this year from a lot of wealthy people who were unhappy when they seemingly had it all. How do we start to find the journey of everlasting happiness?
Because I'm a bit like Jim Carrey in that, it's one of the really great benefits is when you do acquire all those things that, I was born into a really, really humble family. They did not have much money, and many people would have considered us poor, but, and then suddenly you get all of these things, and it's all wonderful, that's great. It's horrible being worried about money. It really is.
Yeah.
But that happiness that we think that those material things will bring is fleeting, and so I agree with Jim Carrey. Those things are never going to bring you everlasting happiness. And what will bring you everlasting happiness is to know the truth about everything, and to know the truth about who you are. And that will bring you everlasting happiness, because that will take away all of the things that everybody is worried about, like death. All of those things will be resolved.
How have you learned to eliminate suffering in your personal life through the good and the bad that comes in? Have you feel like you've mastered that, where you don't suffer anymore?
I don't feel like I suffer very much, no. And I can't say that I would never again, but I can't imagine what there would be that I would. And
And
really, the way that I did that was really on the journey, which is all in the book, and it is a journey.
mm-hmm,
But one of the things, and it's in The Secret, what you resist persists,
mm-hmm.
right? And so I came to understand that if we resisted negative feelings, then we just pushed them down inside of us and suppressed them. And then they would just be sparking off at every little thing, you know. If you've got anger suppressed inside of you, you can bet there's going to be a whole lot of things in the world that are going to trigger that anger that is pushed down inside of you. And so I actually intuitively worked out that if I welcomed a negative feeling, like imagined like putting my arms around it and bringing it in close to me, what was so amazing, it would intensify for like 1 second to 2 seconds, and then it would just evaporate.
Suffer so much. You know, I've studied a lot of meditation with different teachers and been to India and you know, I've got my own theories, but I'm curious, why do you think we suffer as a human race so much?
Well, mostly we're ignorant of the truth, and that causes us suffering. But all suffering comes from the mind. You know, it doesn't come from the world, it comes from the mind. And so we suffer more from the thoughts by believing our own thoughts than we do from anything in the world. You know, the mind, unfortunately, is it is just our greatest tool to create the life that we want to have, but we're in a duality, so it is equally can be our torturer.
Oh man, it's funny you say that because again, growing up, I was studying this book called Science and Health by a woman named Mary Baker Eddy who wrote this book, and she said, "Stand porter at the door of thought," because those who stand porter at the door of thought, they're able to admit the good and reject evil. Those are the ones who are assured of a happier, healthier, more rewarding human experience. If you can truly be a guard to negative, evil thoughts, drama thoughts, stress thoughts, gossip thoughts, judgment thoughts.
Totally.
And one of the practices my dad did is when we were watching football and TV growing up, he would turn the commercials off. He wouldn't allow me and my siblings to watch the commercials because most of the commercials in the US, at least growing up and today, were around pharmaceutical drugs.
Lack of health.
You need this drug to help you with this thing, and you're sick, and you're sick, and you're sick.
Yeah.
And it's no wonder, I think it's 2/3 of our country in America now is either obese or overweight and pre-diabetic or type 2 diabetes. And the amount of medicine that we need, because we're constantly being fed, you are sick. And so when these thoughts enter our mind and consume our thoughts, start to manifest in the physical body. And it's something that I think we need to practice more of. I rarely watch the news because I don't want my brain to take over into this dramatic, soap opera of life.
Yeah, totally.
And I think it's something we need to focus on more of, is being a guard to negative thoughts.